There's a moment that happens to you in crowded rooms that you've never been able to explain to anyone. Everybody is laughing, everybody is talking, and you are there, physically present, smiling when you're supposed to smile. But somewhere underneath your ribs, there is a silence nobody else can feel, a kind of quiet that follows you around like a second skin. And in that silence, a question rises that you've been asking since you were a child. Why don't I feel like I come from the same place these people come from? If that just landed in your chest, don't scroll away. Because tonight I am not going to entertain you. I am going to name you. There are chosen ones walking this earth right now who were never built from a human blueprint. Their spirits were shaped somewhere else first. They were assembled in heaven before they were assembled in a womb. And I'm going to show you 9 specific types that God is uncovering in this exact season. 9 different identities, 9 different missions, 9 different kinds of fire. And when I describe yours, you will feel it. Not think it, feel it. Something in your chest will tighten. Your eyes will fill up with tears you don't understand. Your hand might shake. That is your spirit saying, finally, after all these years, somebody is speaking my real name. Before we start, let me clear something up. The phrase non-human is not science fiction. It is not a strange doctrine. I am using it the way Scripture itself uses it, to describe souls whose origin, calling, and spiritual composition were formed in the heart of God long before they ever arrived on this planet. Jeremiah heard it plainly. Before I formed you in the womb, I knew you. Before you were born, I set you apart. Set you apart from what? From the ordinary pattern of human life. Paul said something similar, that we were chosen in him before the foundation of the world. Before the foundation. Before the ground was laid. Before the stars took their positions. Your name was already on a list. Sit with that for a second. Before you had a face. Before your parents even knew each other existed. Before the neighborhood. Before the school. Before the pain you carried as a child, you already had an assignment pinned to your spirit. That is why nothing down here has ever fully satisfied you. That is why the best day of your life still left a strange ache when you laid your head on the pillow. You were never supposed to feel at home in a world you were only passing through. And now, pay attention, because you are about to recognize yourself in one of these 9. The first is the Watcher. Watchers are the ones who came into this world already knowing things no one taught them. As children, you stared too long at adults who were lying. You felt the difference between a house that had peace in it and a house that had a secret buried under the carpet. You knew which teacher was kind and which teacher was cruel before they ever said a word to you. If your childhood felt like you were sitting quietly in a corner while the grown-ups thought you weren't paying attention, you weren't zoning out. You were recording. Your spirit was built for discernment. Remember Samuel as a boy, lying down in the tabernacle. The high priest Eli was right there in the building, a seasoned religious man, the one you would expect to hear God. But the voice came to the child, because heaven looks for the antenna, not the title. Watchers grow up being called sensitive, too serious, strange, weird. Nobody around you knows what to do with eyes that see through the surface. Your mission is to stand guard, to protect families from the things no one else can perceive, to warn, to discern, to see the rot behind the smile before the damage is done. Watchers are not paranoid. They are assigned. And here is something you need to understand about your gift. Every time you felt a warning rise inside you and nobody listened, and then weeks later, the thing you warned about actually happened, that was not you being lucky. That was heaven confirming your frequency. You are not imagining it. You have been right more times than people around you have ever been willing to admit. The second is the burner. Burners cannot sit still when something is wrong. A burner walks into an unjust situation and their whole body reacts. Their hands shake, their voice changes, their stomach turns. They cannot fake peace in a place where peace is not real. Moses was a burner. He saw an Egyptian beating a Hebrew, and something inside him ignited. That fire got him exiled for 40 years. He ran to the back of a desert, trying to cool off what God had deliberately lit inside him. But that same fire eventually split a sea in half and dragged an entire nation out of slavery. If people have been telling you your whole life that you are too intense, too passionate, too much, I need you to hear me. You were never too much. You were surrounded by people too small to hold your fire. The burner's mission is to confront what everyone else has agreed to tolerate. You are the one who says what nobody else will say. You are the disturbance that forces a room to wake up. And no, heaven did not raise you up to be comfortable in your generation. Heaven raised you up to change it. There is a reason you cannot sleep at night when something unjust happens across the world. There is a reason injustice ruins your appetite while other people keep eating. Your wiring is prophetic. Your indignation is not a character flaw. It is a compass. Every time you could not look away from something broken, you were being confirmed. The third is the dreamer. And I am not talking about daydreamers. I am talking about the ones whose nights are louder than their days. You have had dreams since childhood that felt more real than waking life. You have dreamed of places you have never been. You have seen the faces of people before you ever met them. You have woken up with tears on your face and no memory of why. Joseph was a dreamer. His own brothers could not handle what heaven was showing him. They threw him in a pit and sold him into slavery, trying to bury the gift. But the same dreams that got him hated became the dreams that saved an entire nation from starvation, including the very brothers who tried to erase him. Let me tell you something about your sleep. Your sleep is not rest. It is a meeting room. God speaks to dreamers at night because the noise of the day drowns out what he is trying to get to them. If you are one of these, start writing them down. Every single one. The fragments that seem random today are pieces of a map you will only be able to read later. Heaven is downloading something through you, and the world is going to need your translations before this decade is over. One more thing about dreamers. Most of you grew up thinking your dreams were nightmares because they scared you. They were not nightmares. They were previews. Your spirit was being shown things in advance so that when they happened, you would not be caught off guard. Start trusting what you see at night. Heaven has been trying to get your attention through a window nobody else thought to check. The fourth is the carrier. This one is heavy, so stay with me. The carrier is the person in the family, in the workplace, in the friend group, who always ends up holding everyone else's weight. You did not volunteer. You did not ask for this. But somehow everybody tells you their secrets. Everybody cries on your shoulder. Everybody needs just 5 minutes that turns into 2 hours of their pain unloaded into your lap. And then you go home alone and feel like you have been run over by something you cannot name. Simon of Cyrene was pulled out of a crowd and forced to carry a cross that was not his. He woke up that morning with his own plans. By the afternoon, he was carrying the weight of the Savior of the world up a hill. But in that one act, his name made it into the scriptures forever. If you are a carrier, your assignment is not to collapse under the weight. Your assignment is to learn when to set it down. You were built to bear. You were not built to be buried. Hear me carefully. You are allowed to say no. You are allowed to rest. You are allowed to go a whole season carrying nothing but your own soul. God is not going to love you less because you finally stopped letting people empty themselves into you without permission. The fifth is the bridge. Bridges are rare, and bridges are tired. A bridge is someone who can speak to two worlds that do not naturally speak to each other. You can sit with the rich, and you can sit with the poor. You can talk to the scholar, and you can talk to the man who never finished school. You can walk into a church on Sunday, and into a hospital waiting room on Monday, and into a boardroom on Tuesday, and in every one of those places, people assume you belong. Paul was a bridge, trained by the finest religious scholars of his day, but also a man who could sleep on a prison floor and lead the jailer to Christ before sunrise. He could write a letter to Roman intellectuals and preach to fishermen on a beach with the same anointing. Bridges feel lonely because they do not fully belong to any one tribe. Your family of origin often does not understand the rooms you end up walking into, and the rooms you end up in often cannot picture where you came from. That loneliness is not a malfunction. It is the cost of the calling. You were never meant to fully belong to any one place, because your job is to carry the message across distances that no one else can cross. You are heaven's translator between worlds. And here is what you need to hear tonight. Every time you walked into a room and felt like the odd one out, heaven was positioning you. You were not being rejected by those circles. You were being reserved for a bigger purpose that required you to have seen all of them. Bridges are built by years of not fitting in. The loneliness you have been complaining about was actually the construction. The sixth is the healer. And I do not only mean nurses and doctors, though many healers end up there. I mean people whose presence alone changes a room. You have had strangers start crying next to you on airplanes for no reason. Animals calm down when you walk past them. Children find you without being introduced. Your hugs feel like medicine to people who have not been held in years. That is not a personality trait. That is an anointing. Remember the woman who reached through a crowd and touched the hem of Jesus' garment. She was healed the moment she made contact, and Jesus felt virtue leave him. There is an actual substance that moves through healers. It costs you something every time it flows. So listen to me. You have to guard your well. Not everybody deserves unlimited access to you. Jesus himself retreated to quiet places to fill up again. If the Son of God needed that, you need it more. A healer who never retreats turns into a healer who resents, and a resenting healer cannot help anyone. Now, before we step into the final three types, and these last ones are going to cut deep, let me pause for one moment. Because what is rising in your chest right now is not random. I'm George. I did not come to this calling through a seminary. I came through the long road years of being misread by people around me, years of carrying things I could not explain, years of asking God why I was built so differently from every person at the dinner table. Everything I am about to say next came out of those years of quiet wrestling. There are messages that pass through your eyes, and there are messages that pass through your spirit. If something in you recognized itself while watching, don't dismiss it. That is the Spirit confirming what was already written. The secret protocol carries 7 keys that unveil what heaven deposited in you before you ever arrived. Things no one around you has ever been able to name. It comes with the full audiobook for your moments of prayer, silence, and encounter with God. And you also receive the Awakening Map, the guide that illuminates the 5 seasons of spiritual awakening, revealing with precision exactly where you are and what comes next. The link is pinned in the first comment, but only for a limited time. Don't let this moment pass without a response. Now back to the work. 3 types remain, and one of them has your name on it. The 7th is the warrior. Not the loud one, not the angry one. The true warrior is quiet, disciplined, and almost impossible to break under pressure. A warrior does not start fights, but when a fight finds them, something ancient wakes up in their spirit. David was a warrior, but before he stood in front of Goliath, he was a boy in a field, with no audience, facing a lion and a bear with his bare hands. Nobody was there. No crowd cheered. No song was written about those private battles. Just a teenager, a wild animal, and a God who was watching every move. Those hidden fights forged the man who could walk toward a giant without flinching, while an entire army hid behind rocks. If you are a warrior, your mission is not just to win battles people can see. Your mission is to stand guard over the gates of your bloodline, your home, your generation. Heaven positions warriors in places where the spiritual warfare is heaviest, because you do not snap under weight that would crush other people. And stop apologizing for being intense. The world needs your spine more than it needs your softness. Warriors usually grow up in environments that tried to break them early. That was not random suffering. That was training the enemy did not realize he was paying for. Look at what you have survived. Every bruise had a purpose. Every betrayal taught you something about who to trust and who to lock out. If you are still standing, still praying, still believing you have already won fights, most people will never even see on your record. The 8th is the messenger. Messengers are born with words they cannot contain. You have probably been writing since you were small in journals, on napkins, in the notes app of your phone late at night. You talk to yourself constantly because your mind does not stop composing. You rehearse conversations before they happen. You replay them for days after they happen. Your brain is a broadcast tower and it never fully powers down. Isaiah was a messenger. So was John the Baptist, a man who lived in the wilderness eating locusts because he refused to soften what he was sent to say. So was Jeremiah, who tried to quit the calling and ended up saying, "If I say I will not speak his word, it becomes like fire shut up in my bones." If that verse made you tear up just now, it is because you know it by experience. You have tried to shut up, and you could not. You have tried to keep your opinions small, and they kept leaking out anyway. You have had seasons of total silence, off the group chat, off the posts, off the dinner table conversation, and your soul felt like it was suffocating. Your mission is to deliver. Through writing, speaking, teaching, preaching, singing, whatever form it takes. Deliver the words that heaven is trying to get into this generation before it runs out of time. And yes, some people are not going to like what comes out of your mouth. That's fine. Messengers were never sent to be liked. They were sent to be heard. The ninth is the hidden one. And I saved this one for last because of all of them. This one breaks me the most. The hidden one is the soul God has kept tucked away on purpose. You have had doors close that you begged to walk through. You have watched people less gifted than you rise faster than you. You have prayed, fasted, positioned yourself, done everything right, and the breakthrough still seemed to go to somebody else. You started wondering if God forgot about you. Maybe, on your hardest nights, you wondered if you were being punished for something. Let me tell you what was really happening. You were being aged in the dark like a fine wine in a cellar nobody walks past. Moses was hidden 40 years in a desert before he led one single Israelite anywhere. 40 years watching someone else's sheep, married into a family that was not his own, probably convinced God had closed the book on him completely. And then, a bush caught fire. David was anointed king as a boy, and then hidden in caves for years, while another man kept the crown. Esther was hidden in a palace long before her moment at the banquet table. Ruth was hidden in a foreign field, picking up leftover grain, before she was written into the royal line of the Messiah himself. The hidden one requires preparation that cannot happen in public. Early applause would have destroyed you. Early platforms would have inflated you into something you were never meant to become. If you have been hidden, grieving, wondering, aching, hear me. The hiding was not rejection. It was protection. And when your season finally breaks, it is going to break so suddenly and so completely that the people who wrote you off will not be able to explain what is happening to you. They will call it luck. You will know what it really was. A lifetime of hidden preparation breaking the surface all at once. Now stay with me, because you might be seeing yourself in 2 or 3 of these types and thinking, I am all of them. That is normal. Most chosen ones carry a dominant type, and 1 or 2 secondary streams running underneath. But there is always one that is your core. One that, the moment you name it, explains your entire life backwards. One that makes you sit there and say, so that's why. That's why I was always like this. That's why certain people walked away. That's why certain doors never opened. That's why the same patterns kept repeating themselves no matter what I did. And here is what I need you to understand. The reason you have felt so out of place is not because something is broken in you. It is because you were never meant to fit here completely. Abraham was called a stranger and a pilgrim on the earth. And Abraham was not complaining when he said it. He was identifying himself. He knew his citizenship was registered somewhere else, and so is yours. Every morning you wake up tired of this world is not depression. It is homesickness. Your spirit remembers where it came from, even when your mind has forgotten. The world wants to fix you. Heaven wants to finish you. The world wants to label you, medicate you, normalize you, flatten you into the same shape as everybody else on the street. Heaven says the opposite thing. Heaven says rise, speak, burn, dream, build, Carry, bridge, guard, deliver, hide, and then come out. Be exactly what you were assembled to be, and stop apologizing to anybody who cannot handle the light. Because here is the thing that closes this whole message. You were not born. You were sent. There is a difference. A birth is a biological event. Ascending is a spiritual mission. A birth ends at a grave. Ascending never ends at all. And if you are still here, still watching this video all the way to this point, it is because the Spirit has been confirming something in you the whole time. You already know your type. You felt it land when I described it. You may have even whispered it out loud. Now listen to what I am about to say. Because this is where the video actually begins for you. You think this ends when you close the screen. It doesn't. The moment you name your type out loud, something that has been sleeping inside you for years is going to wake up. And you are not going to be the same person you were when you clicked on this. I have watched it happen too many times to count. People who spoke their identity into the comments, and within weeks, things started moving. Dreams got louder. Doors that had been locked for years started rattling. People who had vanished from their lives suddenly reappeared. Old wounds that never healed started to close. That is not coincidence. That is what happens when a chosen one finally stops running from their own name. But I need to tell you something else. And I want you to pay attention to this part more than any other part of this video. There is one of the 9 types that is about to be tested the hardest in the months that come. I am not going to tell you which one, because the one it belongs to already knows. You felt your stomach drop just now when I said it. You know the weight you have been carrying is different than anybody else's lately. You know the pressure you have been under is not normal spiritual warfare. It is preparation for something specific, something big, something you have been waiting for without even realizing you were waiting. That season is closer than you think. And when it arrives, everything you thought was a delay is going to start looking like a setup. So here is what I need you to do before you close this video. Scroll down, right now, and tell me which of the 9 types did the Spirit confirm to you tonight. The Watcher, the Burner, the Dreamer, the Carrier, the Bridge, the Healer, the Warrior, the Messenger, the Hidden One. Don't just drop the name. Tell me the one line from that section that made your chest tighten, the one sentence that felt like it was written for you and nobody else. That is your confirmation. That is your witness. And when you write it, somebody else scrolling through these comments is going to read your words and finally get set free from years of confusion about who they are. Your naming becomes somebody else's awakening. Your declaration tonight is going to break a chain on a stranger you will never meet. I will be reading, and I will be praying over every single name that shows up in these comments. Everyone. Because what just happened here is not content. It was an assignment going out through a screen straight into the part of your life where you had almost stopped believing God was still speaking. He never stopped. You were being prepared for the moment you would finally hear him again. That moment is right now. One last thing. And I want you to sit with this after the video ends. Think about the last dream you had that you cannot shake. Think about the last strange coincidence that made the hair on your arm stand up. Think about the stranger who said something to you last week that seemed to come out of nowhere but hit you like a hammer. Think about the number you keep seeing on clocks. Think about the verse that keeps finding you. Think about the name that keeps coming up in conversations with people who do not know each other. None of that is random. All of it is connected. And all of it is pointing to the exact same thing, the identity you are about to type in the comments below. And there is one more layer I did not tell you yet. There is a reason you found this video tonight instead of last year. There is a reason it loaded on your screen right now instead of 3 scrolls ago. Somebody prayed over this message before it was ever filmed. And when a prayer meets the right pair of ears, the algorithm is not the one delivering the message. The algorithm is just the envelope. The sender was heaven. So before you leave this video, I want you to do one quiet thing. Put your hand on your chest, right where your heart sits, and say the name of your type out loud. Just once. Watcher, Burner, Dreamer, Carrier, Bridge, Healer, Warrior, Messenger, hidden one. Whichever one it is, say it. Out loud. Not in your head. Because something shifts in the spirit realm the moment a chosen one names themselves with their own voice after years of letting other people name them wrong. The 9 types are not a personality test. They are a mirror. And the mirror has been waiting a long time for you to finally look into it without turning your face away. There is something else you need to know. Out of every person watching this video right now, a small number are carrying an assignment so specific that heaven has been arranging their steps for years just to lead them to this exact sentence. You might be one of them. You would know if you were. The goosebumps you feel on your arm right now did not come from the room you are sitting in. They came from recognition, a confirmation your body felt before your mind caught up. Do not argue with it. Name yours. Stop running. The life you thought was behind you, the dreams you thought were too late, the calling you thought was buried, none of it is buried. It is seed, and the ground just shifted under your feet while you were watching this. I'll see you in the comments, and I'll see you in what comes next.